Hello FIGGIE and collectors, this is me, Daniel East 1000, back again with another review. And this is to celebrate May the 4th. So a happy May the 4th to you. I hope you had an awesome day. Yes indeed, we're going to be taking a look back, finger blasting in the past, at something that, as I mentioned in my last video, which you should definitely check out because it's my collection update. This item is an absolute grail piece of mine. It is none other than the Sideshow Collectables Militaries of Star Wars.
Thrawn Odo.
Who's that?
Star Wars character.
Grand Admiral Thrawn in 1/6 scale. Yes indeed, we're going to be taking a look at the commander of the Imperial fleet and heir to the Empire. First, as always though, we're going to take a quick look at the packaging, then the figure itself. Sideshow figures come in these really chunky boxes. They're very, very high end and high quality. Now, because mine is showing its age, and I did buy this second hand off of the old Fleabay, the box is starting to come apart a little bit, so it might need a lick of glue. But nonetheless, it still looks absolutely superfluous. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I always felt like Sideshow kind of set the standard, doing high-end 12-inch figures first, and then Hot Toys kind of taking the reins more on it. But this was released in 2009, so we just have to bear that in mind when taking a look at this. You've got the Militaries of Star Wars logo at the top there, some lovely imagery of the figure itself, really, really nice. Star Wars, Grand Admiral Thrawn at the bottom there, Commander of the Imperial Fleet, 1/6 scale figure. Sideshow Collectables on the other side, kind of similar shtick, but the figure's in a different pose. Really cool. Same on the other side as well. Looks very, very nice. Then on the back, you've got a really lovely picture of the figure itself and some frames from the comic, because Thrawn hadn't even appeared in animation at this point, let alone live action. So that's the only source imagery they had. And of course, there's some other figures that you can pick up in the line at the bottom there. Of course, Sideshow Collectible figures had a really cool feature. You can open up the clasps, although where mine is, that's where it's kind of come undone. But there's these little magnets that you can detach, and it opens up like a book almost to show where the figure would sit and a bit of a bio or really novel on the character itself. That's a really heavy bit of text to read through, so I will include that in the description down below if you do want to have a little read of that. I really love the presentation boxes that Sideshow do. But yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous packaging. Absolutely lovely, lovely stuff. So with that out of the way and done with, let's take a look at the figure itself.
Admiral Thrawn, I am promoting you to Grand Admiral for your obedient service to the Empire. You will join my inner circle of 12 Grand Admirals who will command all Imperial forces for the glory of the Empire.
Emperor, your faith in me is well placed. How may I serve you next?
So here we have my favourite red-eyed blue boy.
That would be me.
I'm sorry, Cad Bane. He was here first, technically. You're one of them, though, okay? You'll have your time at some point. So here we have one of my favourite red-eyed blue boys right here. Now, while I did get this towards the start of this year, I thought today would be an apt time to review this boy, just because on May the 4th, Tales of the Empire has been released.
Why do you seek Imperial favour?
Oh boy. Comments down below, let me know what you thought of that. Chef's kiss. And so it only felt fitting for me to pick this boy up and talk about him.
Offer accepted.
Of course, because this is Sideshow Collectables, this was released in 2009, again we have to bear in mind this isn't going to be the same sort of quality as Hot Toys. I think really with the source material that they had, because Thrawn hadn't seen his live action debut or even animated debut at this point, this is a really good effort from Sideshow. Oh, just look at his head sculpt. Does always make me feel like maybe Pierce Brosnan was being eyed up to play Thrawn. It has to be said, this Sideshow figure is a bit of an uncanny likeness to him. It is a fairly basic figure upon first inspection. You've got his white outfit there, which is iconic for the Grand Admiral. There's not really too much going on with the back there, but you can see that the belt does run all the way along around. You've got that silver buckle, his rank badge, the pants as well, which are a bit puffy, and the boots as well. Now, something that I found really interesting about this figure, particularly as it's now based off of the Legends, is really the lack of the shoulder pads. I forget the official name. Editing Dan include that.
Epaulets.
It would have been really cool to have seen those included with this figure. I'm not too sure why they missed that, but that was something quite iconic and what made Thrawn look a little bit different, more regal as an Imperial officer, although indeed he is unique because of his skin complexion. Thrawn is one of the very few, if not at the very least only, high-ranking Imperial that's an alien, just because the Empire is predominantly seen as human enlisted, highlighting the Empire's blatant racism. I just find this character absolutely intriguing, just a super smart, cold and calculating boy, and I think Sideshow have really captured that with the head sculpt just there. The hair looks absolutely fantastic as well, although on my copy it is probably a little bit dusty, because again I did get this second hand. What a beautiful, beautiful figure. Again, quite basic on first glance, and does somewhat make you wonder why it commandeers such a high price point on the secondary market, although to be fair, a lot of Thrawn merchandise seemingly does. And speaking of high price points, there is another version of this guy, of which comes with the commander chair, and that goes for some silly money. Really, really silly money. And I don't even think I'd have the space for that personally, so I am more than happy with this. So in terms of his accessories, he doesn't really come with a lot. He comes with this blaster pistol, which he does hold very, very nicely, although there's nowhere to really store it on the belt. There's no holster. Additionally as well, he does come with the Ysalamiri.
Ysalamiri.
And that's beautifully, beautifully detailed. Thrawn uses the Ysalamiri in Legends to repel Force users due to their ability to create a Force neutral bubble, which protects him from, well, more notably, Dark Jedi Jorah Saboth. We've yet to see these appear officially in new canon, and it's unknown if we ever will. I love the colour transitions, the blending, just looks absolutely terrific. And of course he does come with another 2 pairs of interchangeable hands. I will show the interchangeable hands in the glamour shot. Don't you worry your sweet bippy on that. Just because I'm not going to faff changing the hands around, because that's going to look really awkward on camera. I'm struggling enough as it is, guys, because I'm not used to handling 12 inches. And the display stand as well, which I've got him on just here. These are the old Sideshow ones, of which use the metal clasp with the rubber stoppers. I'm never too sure how I feel about these. I know there's a crotch version which holds the figure by the crotch. It works well, it works nicely enough. It just of course plugs into the stand just there. And yeah, it keeps it nice and in place. That's what you really want. That's it in terms of the things that it comes with. It would have been nice to see a couple more bits and pieces. In terms of his articulation though, he does have a ball joint in the head, ball joint in the neck, a ball joint in the shoulders, and there's probably even a butterfly joint in there as well. Double hinged elbows, ball jointed wrists, ball jointed torso, ball jointed hips with the thigh swivel I believe, double hinged ankles, and in terms of the feet there's probably articulation in there, but it's hindered due to the boots because they are quite a solid bit of plastic. But really, you're not going to have this guy in too many dynamic poses. You're probably going to have him more in sort of subtle poses like this, or analytical looks. So that's everything he really needs, and then some. Can't really remember how much this retailed when it was released, so I may be speaking in terms of how much I paid for it, of which was, let's just say, a pretty penny. But they don't show up too often, so I swooped at the opportunity to get this guy in my collection, and I'm so pleased I did. This is a fantastic representation of Thrawn in his Legends look. And if that's what you're looking for, you may want to try and look into getting this guy. Certainly consider the price point though, because like with most Sideshow figures, because they are quite aged now, at least the older figures, they do kind of have a doll-like quality to them, where they're not as fancy as Hot Toys. I still think they're great, but there is that kind of quality there about them. But if you really want it, then sadly you're probably going to have to cough up. I'm so pleased to have added this to my collection. It is a real standout piece, not only in my Thrawn focus shrine, but in my collection as a whole. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. And well, this is me, Daniel1000, signing out, and thank you very much for watching. And of course, a very happy May the 4th be with you.